is happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. I know you guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely going to want to check this one out, as we got a massive disaster striking Zoran Mamdani as his entire NYC voter base just collapsed after learning of his true motives in their city, guys. And I'm excited to get into this one. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's scoop.
For those who have watched budget after budget, it is tempting to assume that we are engaging in the same dance as our predecessors. Let me assure you, nothing about this is typical. That's why our solutions won't be either. There are two paths to bridge this gap. The first is the most sustainable and the fairest path. This is the path of ending the drain on our city and raising taxes on the richest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. The onus for resolving this crisis should not be placed on the backs of working and middle-class New Yorkers. If we do not fix this structural imbalance and do not heed the calls of New Yorkers to raise taxes on the wealthy, this crisis will not disappear. It will simply return, year after year, forcing harder and harsher choices each time. And if we do not go down the first path, the city will be forced down a second, more harmful path. Faced with no other choice, the city would have to exercise the only revenue lever fully within our own control. We would have to raise property taxes.
All right, folks, so it appears the day we all knew would come is finally here, with Mamdani dropping the mask, saying all the quiet parts out loud, and his latest threats issued to the folks of NYC, saying that if Governor Kathy Hochul refuses to allow him to pass higher taxes on corporations and NYC's top earners, he'll make New York City's homeowners eat the cost through higher property taxes. So that right there is what he wants to do all along. And it's not just going to hit folks that are homeowners in NYC. Guess what? If homeowners are getting taxed more heavily, the folks that they're renting out to, your rent is going to go up. So this is affecting all the folks that voted for Zoran Mamdani. Now, folks, here is a deeper breakdown of what Mamdani is now threatening New Yorkers with. Check this one out.
You said this is distressing.
Oh, very distressing. And what I noticed in that soundbite, you guys called it an ultimatum. I'd go as far to call it a threat. And I don't like to see elected officials threatening each other in this way. Hochul's worried about her reelection, and she knows that a tax hike in any way, shape, or form will not be received well by voters. So this isn't just about her winning. It's that people don't want it, and he doesn't get that message.
But he'll probably do it if she wins and Bruce Blakeman. She'll probably do it anyway, just like the whole congestion pricing thing, which she's sure she wouldn't do.
And it was debacle.
So let's break this down. Option one, number one, tax the wealthy. Raise the taxes already on corporations. We're already one of the most unattractive tax states in the country. Can only be approved by the state government. That's where Kathy Hochul comes in. But so does the legislature. And the Governor Hochul has insisted she isn't in favor of that. But she's already given a little bit on child care, too.
Yes. And what she's trying to do is the reasonable, sensible thing. But that's when he pivots and he says, OK, if you don't give me what I want, here's what I'm going to do. And this is what is distressing, because this ends up hurting the people, many of them, that he proposed that he would help with affordability, because these 3 million homes that are going to get hit with this real estate tax, these are not all millionaires. These are a lot of very normal people that will end up not being able to afford to live here. They will flee the city, and the problem gets worse.
And they are already fleeing the city for Texas, and including major corporations like J.P. Morgan, believe it or not, has more people in Texas right now at their Dallas building than that mammoth building a few blocks from here, because it pays to move the people to Texas, where there is no state tax.
And I just want to make the point, because you're bringing up a great point about businesses. That's why either of these options is a terrible option, and he needs to just abort and move on to something else. Because if you go with option one, which Hochul is fighting, more businesses will leave.
He looks at businesses as a problem. He looks at renters. He also has a plan in place. He wants to freeze the rent. Look out for that. Extra measures that he could be doing if he has to go to a plan B. He says he's got to propose pulling $1.2 billion from the city's rainy day fund, which if you have debt, I didn't know you had a rainy day fund, and retire health care savings. What is that?
I mean, you hurt the retirees. The rainy day fund, they do this all the time with the SPR. Joe Biden did it in an oil perspective, right? They would just drain down the SPR. It's there for emergencies. Things can happen. Hurricane Sandy. We had 9/11. I never want to see those things happen again. But that's what rainy day funds are for.
And of course, New York City's latest budget, $127 billion. Give you an idea, Florida has a $117 billion
population
budget.
Almost 3 times, and you've got a budget that's lower. How is it possible for a city to be spending this?
Now we're seeing reality finally setting in for that overzealous mayor, Zoran Mamdani. He thought this would be all so simple, but he's never led anything a day in his life. I mean, make this make sense. New York City's latest budget, $127 billion. In the state of Florida is $117 billion. $10 billion less dollars, and we're talking about an entire state. You can't make sense of that right there. It's Zoran Mamdani junking up the city's budget. And now New Yorkers are also outraged and expressing their feelings of betrayal towards Zoran Mamdani because he campaigned on affordability.
The mayor of one of the greatest cities in the world, or at least used to be one of the greatest cities in the world, would rather virtue signal than protect his vulnerable citizens. And remember his big campaign promise, tax the rich? Well, problem is, like most of the things that he ran on, he has absolutely no power to do it. So since he can't tax the wealthy, he's instead going to raise property taxes for the first time in 20 years in New York City to cover his $127 billion budget. New Yorkers now face a 9.5% increase in property taxes, which is going to raise the cost for renters as well. So much for bringing down rent costs and making living more affordable. And what about free buses for all? Well, congratulations, New Yorkers. As of January 2026, the base costs for subway and bus fare jumped from $2.90 to a crisp $3. That's a 10-cent hike that hits every commuter every single day. And wealthy New Yorkers are not sticking around for Mamdani's equity lectures. The mass exodus of businesses and wealthy individuals leaving New York City has only just begun. This Marxist has turned your once great city into a failed experiment, a complete joke.
Mamdani, this guy's been mayor of New York City for 1 month, okay? What he promised was a free bus for everybody, grocery stores run by the government for, poor people to get food, which is a good thing, I think. And that rent was going to go down. Those are like the big 3 things he promised everybody. So today he's got his first meeting with the city about the budget. And what he says is, I'm raising property taxes on everybody by 10%, okay? Rent's not going to go down, actually. He's draining $1 billion from the rainy day fund, which I don't even know what that is, but it doesn't sound good. And none of the free stuff that he promised is actually happening.
The mayor, with the greatest respects, in every campaign speech, in every debate where you engage, we opened our ears to listen. Now today, accept the words echoing from us now. Do your job as mayor and leave our taxes out.
Having only 2 options. You're saying if we don't tax the rich, then I gotta increase property taxes. We are not a pawn in Southeast Queens. We are not part of your negotiation tactics. Zoran Mamdani, you are out your goddamn mind.
Democrats of New York have been played. They're showing full-on signs of a buyer's remorse now that they're seeing Zoran Mamdani walking back all the promises that he made along the campaign trail. Nothing in life is free. I don't know how many times we have to tell these folks for them to wake up and see it for themselves. I guess they had to live it to see that it's actually true. Nothing was ever going to be free. And I feel like this is the part where I should be saying, we told you so. We tried to warn them that we could see what was coming from a mile away, but they simply would not listen. And Mamdani's out here claiming that there is a budget crisis, but I want you guys to take a look at all the DEI junk that he's put up in there.
Racial equity, $4.6 million, Commission on Racial Equity, $835,000, Commission on Gender Equity, $260,000 for Department of Education, Chief Diversity Officer, $301,000 for 3 FDNY Civilian Chief Diversity Inclusion Officers. There's a title for you. And $118,000 for an FDNY Chief Diversity Inclusion Officers. Is that necessary stuff? You can't cut that back?
And a list of things to do when it comes to public safety, absolutely not. Public safety's got to be in the top of your list. So we can't pay for everything. Everything can't be for free. But what you need is cops out in the street. Tell me how all these programs are going to help when you're getting robbed in the middle of the street.
Yeah, and
how that works.
Yeah, you tell me. Believe me, he's about to find out, sadly. Mamdani's progressive agenda includes new budgets items like $750,000 for Art and Cultural Fund, $800,000 for anti-ageism, $437 million for child care vouchers, LGBTQ emergency for $2 million, It goes on. And you pointed out his climate change budget. What's he spending on that?
And you guys should already know by now that your boy RetroStef, he's not beating around the bush. So I'm just going to come out and say it. And I know a lot of you are probably feeling the same way out there, but something definitely feels off about Zohran Mamdani's $127 billion budget for the city of New York compared to Florida spending $117 billion for their entire state. Seems like Zohran's leaving the door open for more waste, fraud, and abuse, a Minnesota 2.0 situation, if you will. But again, this is the clown show that New Yorkers voted for, especially those New York Democrats, so they're getting exactly what they wanted. But somehow now New York Democrats are fed up and begging that Governor Kathy Hochul strip Mamdani of his financial powers due to his latest moves.
This video is for Governor Kathy Hochul. I am calling on you and your administration to strip financial power away from Zohran Mamdani because he is clearly unfit to lead the city as a leader. And on top of that, this budget that he put together, he is merely focused on illegals. He is not focused on the American people. He is not focused on the taxpayers. If he accomplishes raising the New York City property tax, it is going to be a domino effect and the black community will feel it first. It's going to start from condos to co-ops to buildings that black homeowners own. You're going to push out your voting bloc. You're going to push out the people who have been carrying the burden of the Democratic Party for decades. So I'm calling on Governor Hochul to do a removal of power from Mayor Zohran Mamdani. Remove his financial powers. That budget is a damn slap in the face to the black community and to all of the small property owners, and you know it. City Council, do the right thing and shut down that preliminary budget. You already know what's going to happen. That whole, oh, you're going to raise the taxes for people that make over $122,000 a year is a damn joke, and you know it. There are people who are barely making ends meet. So you're going to hit them with additional taxes? Really? Because he can't get his way, because he wants to fund his illegals? The illegals that come in, they're benefiting off of the backs of the taxpayers. That's what this is all about. Let's stop this already. Governor Hochul, do the right thing. Remove financial power from Mayor Mamdani.
We already said that this was going to be the reality for everyday New Yorkers, folks that were born and raised in the city. You know, he said that Zohran would be importing his own folks. He doesn't care if he's exiling his voter bloc because they'll be replaced with someone else before you know it. And if you don't believe that Mamdani is putting his people over true New Yorkers, just take a look at this.
Mamdani just put someone with zero diplomatic experience in charge of the mayor's office of Immigrant Affairs. Her name is Faiza Ali, and every New Yorker should be paying attention. Wait until you hear her background. She spent 4 years as Community Affairs Director for CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, a group with ties to Muslim Brotherhood. This is the same organization that publicly celebrated and defended Hamas's violence on October 7th. CARE was also named by federal prosecutors as an unindicted co-conspirator in the largest terrorism financing case in U.S. history. Faiza Ali then spent 2 years as Civic Engagement Director for the Arab American Association of New York. She also served on the board of Muslim Democrats of New York with Mayor Mamdani. Now, her crowning achievement was to secure recognition of Muslim holidays in New York City public schools. The Commissioner of Immigrant Affairs is supposed to represent every immigrant equally. Jewish immigrants, Iranian immigrants fleeing persecution, Cuban immigrants, Asian immigrants, everyone. Instead, New York City appointed someone with zero diplomatic experience whose entire career was spent as an advocate for Muslim and Arab communities. Not a diplomat, an advocate. This is Mamdani's New York. This is the Muslim Brotherhood's vision for New York.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. And honestly, I can't even say we didn't see this one coming because we called it. We seen all the red flags with Zohran Mamdani. Heck, there were blinking neon signs pointing to this being bad news. This was only going to be bad underneath the leadership of Zoran, and they're getting exactly what they wanted, especially those New York Democrats. Can't even say that I feel sorry or bad for them when we tried to educate them, we tried to warn them, but they just simply would not listen. This is what they wanted, and this is what they're getting, because they said that Zoran, their guy, was going to make everything free and affordable for them, but so far they're getting royally screwed. He has truly played that trick card on them. He has flipped the script very quickly, saying that everything is not going to be free, and also we're not going to be taxing the rich, but the tax burden will be now on the middle class and the folks that voted for me. Wow. This guy truly sold a dream and they fell for. And the worst part is, this is just the beginning, and they're going to be stuck with him for another 3 years. He's what, 11 weeks in to his mayor term. So I just don't think that New Yorkers thought this one all the way out, but they're going to have to go through it to get through it, and hopefully they learn something, guys. But now is the time. I want you guys to all hop in the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking about Zoran Mamdani's latest moves. Now he's not taxing the rich, but he's threatening to tax everyone in New York City if they don't go through with his tax plan. Hop in the comment section, y'all. Comments are open. I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking. And before you guys get out of here, if you could, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this coming from your boy RetroStef, catch you guys on the next one.